Warning. The following presentation may contain excessive alcohol consumption, obscene language, controversial opinions, heavy metal, and actual wrestling chat. As such, it has been rated M for metal.
Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Welcome along to the latest edition of Mickey's Mosh Pit. As usual, I'm your host, the heavy metal hooligan, Mickey Vago. Now, this past week has seen the podcast pass another milestone in that it has racked up over 500 listens of the audio version. So that's like your Spotify, your Apple Podcasts, your Google Podcasts. I haven't quite worked out the analytics, how they work over on YouTube, but it is saying that we've got almost 1,000 views of the videos over there. Whether that is people watching it in two parts and it's counting it as 2 views, I don't care. It's almost 1,000 views. I'm taking that. We might not be the powerhouse that Billy is over his SWN podcast, but we are getting some exclusives over here in the Mosh Pit. Some guys on that I think Billy's getting quite annoyed about. We're fighting over guests now, but yeah. So that 1,000 views and over 500 listens is mind blowing for what this is. It's essentially just nonsense. Me catching up with the guys, pretty much just us shooting the shit. So thanks for everyone who's listened and watched so far and keep doing so. As far as the podcast going forward, I have got a list of guests written down in my book. If they'll agree to it, barring 2 or 3 episodes, we've got pretty much the lineup up until the end of the year sorted out. So that'll be like your usual episodes. We've got a couple of mixers in there. We'll probably do something different for the Christmas, some sort of Christmas special. But yeah, after that, after New Year, who knows what's going to happen with this. Hopefully we'll be back wrestling in front of crowds. So how much time I'll have to do this and how much time the guys will have to do this with me, I don't know. It's something. We'll cross that bridge after New Year and we'll hopefully work something out to keep something. It might not be the same regularity, but we'll try and keep something going. As far as today's episode is concerned, we've got the Ref Express. It's Dennis Law and Mikey Innes. It is a little bit different to past episodes. It is a bit more serious. There is a bit more wrestling chat in there. That's partly due to Dennis and Mikey being very, very nice guys and not so willing to throw guys under the bus as some of the past guests were. But we did have a good chat. We had a good laugh, a good catch up. Hopefully it won't be too long before we see them again. But without any more resting out, we'll just jump straight into it. So here it is. It's the Ref Express. Welcome along to the latest edition of Mickey's Mosh Pit. Joining me today, I've got the 2 officials of Wrestlezone, the guys in the black and white. It is the Ref Express, Mikey Innes and Dennis Law. How you doing, boys?
Hello.
Good. You know, if we'd planned this more in advance, I would have worn black and Dennis would have worn white.
Missed a trick there.
Yeah, we did.
That would be forward planning, which is something this podcast doesn't do. It's not known for.
I suppose not.
That's more like a Billy Strachan thing.
Aye, he's a bit more professional than I am with these.
Well, I'm sure Billy Strachan would let you know a bit earlier than the morning of.
Yeah. He's normally got his dates well in advance as opposed to, you want to do this tonight?
You free? Aye, fine. See you at 8.
Yeah.
This is how I roll with this. This is my setup. It's worked thus far.
Yeah, it works.
But I say works. It's somebody's listening somewhere. So, like, as we record this, we're trying to come out of lockdown. I mean, what have you, that's been fucking, was that best part of a year and a half almost now? Obviously, Mikey, we've caught up over some of the training calls we've done. But what about yourself, Dennis? What have you been up to during lockdown? You've been working through, or?
I pretty much been steady all the way through. Now back in office in my 9 to 5, but yeah, it's been a bit of a slog, to be honest. It's going to be strange, like walking out that first time in front of a crowd.
Yeah, aye. When we eventually
It's been so long. I mean, like February 20 was my last show.
Yeah.
So that seems like, that's a long time ago. So basically, what I've done in lockdown is I put on weight, and now I'm just getting it off now. So I'm pretty much like everyone else.
I was going to say, that's the story of everyone.
No, me. No, the weight I put on is staying. I don't care.
You put on pure muscle, though.
I wish it was pure muscle. It's just barely. Just beer drinking beer, doing these things. It's ruined me.
Protein beer. That's what you need.
But no, that was the thing. Like when lockdown first started, I was like, I'm getting the best shape. I'm getting wrestling with a t-shirt on, and it lasted about 2 weeks, and I just fucked it. And it's like, at this point, I've just resigned myself. Like, as long as I've got the cardio to carry it, I don't care. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you can go 20 minutes.
Aye, yeah. 20 minutes. I'm tag matching, so it's like 10.
I was going to say
5 at push.
Yeah, because you're standing on. Let Archer do the work.
5 in the ring, 5 on the apron.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I work the apron. That's my gig.
Work the entrance. Hot tag.
Yeah, that's me. Hit stunner, go home. That'll be sitting down.
Let these young ones remember that for you.
Well, say young ones. Archers and these aren't very young these days.
No, older than all of us.
I've known Archer for about 9 years, and I don't think he's had knees once. He permanently walks like he's going upstairs. You ever notice? Even when it's flat, it's just like, oh, poor guy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm never getting that out of my head now. That's just
I know.
tremendous.
I shouldn't bury him so hard on his birthday.
Yeah, he is. We record this. It's Archer's birthday, so happy birthday, Archer. Although this isn't great till like 4 weeks after, so it's fine.
In fact, I've got a story about Archer's birthday. 9 years ago was the first birthday night out with Archer. We had, how old would he have been? About 80 odd. Anyway, it was the first time he got drunk, and I was driving him home. He says to me, and I've got the quote here. So I put it on Facebook, and I'm reminded every year on his birthday. Being drunk is like when you're almost asleep, but you're still awake, and you have a kind of awake dream. It feels like I don't know if I'm real or not right now, but the only reason I know it's real is because I need to pee.
I couldn't sum up being drunk any better.
Nah.
I've never been drunk, so I'll take his word for it. That's why he was telling me, because that was his first time being drunk, and I had never been drunk. I think he must have been 18 or 19.
Yeah.
Well, if that was 9 years ago, am I now 37? So he would have been about 18, 19. Because he's 10 years old.
He might have had knees then. I'm not sure.
Just.
Yeah.
They were just on the way out.
He just had a tiny little bit of cartilage left in them, and that was it. Now they're just dust.
Like when you snap a stick, but it's still got that wee little bit that's holding it.
He is. He's literally been held together by Chewy grips. That's Chewy grips and bandanas.
Would it be amazing? I've not spoken to him once the whole pandemic, I don't think, minus the odd Facebook comment here and there. Wouldn't it be amazing if we go back to training and he's just fully recovered and he's an absolute stallion?
See, we had this running, like when we got back to training last year, we had this running joke, like nobody'd seen Archer. He was meant to be in the nights we were in, and then for whatever reason he got switched to a different night. So, like at this point, nobody'd seen him for like, what was that? When we got back, like 6 months, 8 months or something, when we got back to training the first time. So we had this running joke that nobody'd seen him, so he was just gonna be like he'd been hitting the gym, like not the gym, but like hitting the weights and at him, and he would just get me hench as fuck, but his legs would still be the same.
He still can't walk.
Aye, but he's just massive, up like fucking huge.
Like the upper body of Alan Taylor, with the legs of Connor.
It's an upper body business, brother.
You need the arms to rev those motorbikes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't need the legs.
But yeah, like I love Archie Bits, but he's hard work sometimes.
We do love him.
Yeah.
We do. Everyone loves Archie.
So have you guys been like working, not working all through the pandemic, or well, Mikey, you probably haven't been, have you?
No, because I'm, for those who don't know, I'm a full-time student at the moment. So currently on summer, which is great and not so great. Great because I get to put my feet up. Problem is, I'm sick of putting my feet up. I want to do stuff. And unfortunately, things are reopening, things are going back, which is great. But the music industry tends to be not quite at the opening up level as everything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. But I managed to work the Sound Festival a couple of weekends ago. That was really good. I've got stuff in the pipeline. Student show is planning to go ahead in September, so we're going to start working for that next month. So yeah, if all goes to plan, I'll be very busy soon, but I am itching to get back at it.
Yeah. Just like, it's like everything else, it's just a waiting game. It's just wait until it's safe and we'll get back to it eventually, hopefully.
Yeah.
Are you guys working at home still, or are you back in the office?
I'm back in the office. By day, I'm an accountant, so yeah, we're back in. We've had like the busiest year ever. Basically, Chancellor opened his mouth and my phone started ringing, basically. So I was quite. It's been trying. So yeah, we're back in the office, but distanced in my own room and stuff. So yeah, just get my head down. That's all I can do, really. I miss my family. Yeah, from being at home when you've got little ones. It's quite good to see them, because I wouldn't have seen my daughter like half as much, even a quarter as much if I was at work. But sometimes it's good to be away, because I feel like I was just under their feet all the time. You know what it's like.
How old is your youngest now?
She's 2.
2 already?
Yeah. So she's crazy. So I'm just debating when's the right time, like once we're back in shows, how old to bring her to her. She's been to a show, but she was like really young, you know, she was like tiny. It was in the awesome town of Turriff as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Which was fine for me, because it's like a 50-minute drive for me.
Yeah.
Like, shame for like the likes of Vago, you know, it's a fair hike.
It is, considering like every match I've had in Turriff has been a fucking stinker. I've never had a good match in Turriff.
Yeah. It's just too long a drive.
Like the old Nairn show we used to do, 2 hours there, 2 hours back, all one day.
Yeah, I only worked. Well, I didn't even work. I was staffed one of those. That was one of the ones I staffed. I was like, this is. In fact, it might have been the last one Wrestlezone did.
Must have been. I think I only went up once. 2012.
Yeah, I went up a couple of times. It's a fair journey, like.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a good location, and I think if we went the right time, because it's like I don't want to say a holiday hotspot, but you know, there's a caravan park.
Yeah, I just literally around the corner.
I think if we went in summer, it might be quite good, but it's such a trek.
Yeah. Like, we used to go on holiday in there when we was kids, and I was like, every year we went, there was a circus or like, again, like the fairground or whatever. There was always someone there when we were there on holiday during the summer. So you think, you know, if you run it in the summer, it should do okay. But I'm sure it must have been near enough summer last time
I'm sure it was it July? I'm thinking July.
It was definitely sunny, again that.
Yeah.
I remember. That long ago. I remember the venue.
That was a decent venue. Venue was brilliant. I don't know what you would call it, like slope. Yeah. It's just, if you're only filling it with like 20 people, it's like, what's the point in driving all the way up there just for that?
Yeah.
I do remember the drive home being fun. It was me, a Crusher Crabe. I don't even remember who else was in the car, but he was in the passenger seat, and he had. So my car was an old time car at the time. Still had CD players. None of this Bluetooth shite. And Crusher had opened up the a drawer, to see my CD collection, and we put on the WWE Anthology and listened to everyone's themes, like full blast, full 2 hours home. I want to say it might have been Midas in the back seat trying to fall asleep, and we're just blaring like the DX theme, the Steve Austin theme. That's my strongest memory of that show, not anything that happened on the card.
That's like Ryan Riley's car now. That's all he listens to, is just wrestling themes.
I bet he does it on his phone.
It's not off CD. It wouldn't be. He's too young for that.
My one of my journeys back from there is like a legendary story, but I actually can't tell you what happened on the way home. I just can't. It's one of these stories. It's like when I eventually give it up, I'll do like a podcast and I'll just say whatever I want, and there'll be a section about a particular journey home from there, and that's.
Please tell me when you start a podcast, it's going to be called Laying Down the Law.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And I'll just say
this isn't ringing a bell with me.
No, I'll tell you guys off the records, and that'll tease like a future episode that I can maybe tell the story on if I feel brave enough.
This time.
I'm surprised you haven't heard it, but it might have been before your time, Mikey, because
I maybe haven't, but it's not ringing a bell.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what year we last did in there, and it might have been 2012.
I want to say it was 2012, yeah.
Which you just, because you started refereeing, was it February 2012 in Bucky?
No, it was April. It was April.
April. Is that where someone's car got stoned on the way home or something? Or coming out of Bucky or something, was it?
Stoned?
I'm sure that there's kids throwing stones at, I think it was like Mr. P's car or something, and he like jumped out the car and ran at them. I was at the show, I just heard this like second, third hand, you know?
It's the first I've heard of it. No, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
No. No, because I think I started a year before you.
Aye.
I think I was June 2011, so it would be 10 years if we were doing shows.
Yeah.
I would have been my 10-year anniversary. Because my first show was at the glorious Fraserburgh Leisure Centre.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was the first show I staffed.
What's that, sorry?
That was the first show I staffed.
Was it? Because I did half the show. I did the second half. Do you remember who did the first half?
Yes, it was. Do you remember? Are you?
Yeah, I do. I'm just asking you to see if you remember.
Okay, yes, I do.
It's like a trivia question. Yeah, because it was Aspen.
It was Aspen.
Actually referee. Yeah, the referee the first half.
All right, good.
Because I remember like going backstage for the first time was quite daunting. Because I'm quite a nervous person like naturally. So going like obviously I knew like your likes of your Bills and your Scotts, etc., and your Martins. But I remember like walking backstage for the first time, and you know when Stu's like really try to go over a match, and he's like,
when Stu's left the building and Johnny has entered, yes.
Aye. No, Dennis Frozen.
Frozen, yeah.
Yeah.
I walked into and I was like, what the hell is this? What? I think you guys. Oh, was that me or you guys froze there? Yeah. So that was like my initiate was unstable. Can you hear me?
Yep. We can now. We
Yep.
missed like the second half of that story, but yeah.
Ah, nightmare. Okay. So what part did I get up to so I don't have to repeat myself?
You went backstage and you saw Stu.
Yeah, and he was like rehearsing his match very intensely, and it was actually quite like intimidating to walk into that because it's like I don't think this is what I imagined the backstage of a wrestling show to be like. But
Stu,
obviously,
when Stu's going over a match, he looks like an NPC in a video game, but they're stuck in a weird animation where they
Yeah.
normally have they're interacting with something, but their character model's been pushed away from whatever they're interacting with. They're just kind of floating. Like, I'm sure when Stu's going over a match, if you look off in the distance, there's like a broom doing stuff that he's meant to be holding. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I like learned as well. It's quite good to like watch him do that, and then so you're watching him do it backstage, and then like in the ring you're like, all right, so you know exactly which beats he's going to go to, you know, during the match. He's like, I've seen that backstage. I like him doing it himself, and then you're like seeing it like for like his sort of wrestling match in the ring. You're like, I know what's coming next. Oh, okay, it's going to be.
They're saying that you can always come next anyway because he calls all these moves.
Yeah, he is quite noisy.
Like he's got names for all his moves and he calls them before he hits them. It's like, you know exactly what's coming.
Like Batman, he puts the word lion in front of everything.
Yeah,
I'm not even going to attempt the accent, so someone else can do that.
We need to get Martin on for that. Martin can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's quite good.
He's done a lion's mobile at some point.
Yeah. So did you guys like originally start as referees, or were you training as wrestlers to start with, or and then jump to refereeing, or how did you fall into it?
I did. I started off as a wrestler. I was training for a year, and then I was coming up to the Bucky show when Denzel couldn't make it. So the guys came to me and said, "Hey, we need a referee for Bucky. Are you going to be there?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." So they gave me the basics of training, and then come the night of Bucky, I did it. Really loved it. And then the next night, this is still back when we did some double header weekends. So this was a Friday night in Bucky, and then we had Saturday night in West Hill. I remember after the show going to the guys and saying, "Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Can I do it again tomorrow?" I said, "Yeah, well, I'll check with Denzel because Denzel's back tomorrow." So I remember I gave you a message. You said, "Yeah, no problem." The rest is history. I think there was a couple of months where I was still training to be a wrestler. I still wanted to be a wrestler, and refereeing was just what I was doing for now. But then I fell in love with it so much. I was like, you know what? I don't want to wrestle anymore. I really like this.
Yeah.
I stuck with it.
No, that's cool, one. Just find your niche and then.
Because as well, I wasn't really cut out for wrestling. Like, the bumping just wasn't for me.
The bump was there for me. That's why I've got Archer.
See, that's what I should have done. I should have just
got yourself a human, like a crash test dummy to bump for you.
Yeah.
I should have done Archer. I should be Mickey Bagel. I don't know.
I think I was different. I always wanted to be a referee and started as and continued to be a referee. Because I kind of knew myself. I didn't have it to be a wrestler, but I've always loved wrestling. So, and I thought, well, if I'm the referee, I can be in like multiple matches as well, which is a bonus, rather than just like, I mean, it must be amazing to go in and wrestle and have that adrenaline, crowd chanting for you and stuff. But I just enjoy like being part of the whole show as well.
Yeah.
Being in multiple matches and that's what I really enjoy refereeing. And I mean, that's a baptism of fire, Mikey, for your first show to do all 6 as well. I don't know if we were still doing battle royals at the time, were we? We used to. Yeah, so even then it's still five matches for your first shows, you know, in a row. It's quite impressive because that's a lot to kind of keep in your head.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's sort of we've done bits of it, like training or whatever, just because the referees aren't there, so we just have to make it's either call your own fucking pinfalls or get one of the other guys in to be a ref. So it's like it's someone I don't think I could do. It's just getting my head around it. It's like it's no for me. Like you have to have the right mindset for it, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But we couldn't do what you do. Like, I guess we've all got our place like on the card, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, no, sorry, I tell a lie because Mikey has done what you've done.
Well,
Yeah, and I did get
Really?
about 3/4 of the way through, and then get into a rest hold, and just thought, "Holy fuck, how do these guys do it?" Absolutely gassed, couldn't move a muscle. Just
That-
keeping my arm up so I'm not selling death, letting them know I'm not dead, but really I am. I'm on the verge of just pin me.
that was the thing. So that match you turned up for, and you're just ripped as fuck, and just like, go and fuck off, Mikey.
I mean, that's the story we'll tell. Don't go back and check.
No, you are. It's I'm not blowing smoke, but it's like you look better than that. You look better certainly than me. Certainly, like you're a better fucking body than I did at the time. Like fucking you said at the time. It's worse now, but yeah.
Yeah, well, you know,
But
I
yeah,
do here and there.
but yeah. It's just unfortunate that match has been redacted for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's been Stevie Richards.
So is it like what happened to CM Punk today? Does that mean that Mikey maybe gets a win, or it's a non-contest?
Yeah. No, I think it just gets reversed and I won.
Yeah, aye, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Which means I should have fought Damien for the title at Halloween.
You've got 100% record. That's
Yeah.
number one contender, obviously.
I could be the storyline for first show back. I just come out, beat up everyone, declare myself number one contender.
You're the referee. You just call your own pinfalls. It's fine.
You guys have been doing that training, so I can easily do that. Come in, hit a stunner, take a page out of your book,
Yeah.
declare myself the real Nicky Vago.
Although that match you did hit a stunner, didn't you?
Did I?
I think so.
I might have. If I didn't, I definitely did at Halloween because we both did. Dennis,
We both did, yeah.
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 I can't remember if I did it in the match.
Oh, so maybe it's Halloween I'm thinking on then.
Probably, yeah.
I did a super kick in the match,
Yeah.
and I took a pedigree. But I can't. Maybe I did do a stunner. I don't remember. I haven't watched it in a while.
I don't know. It's someone I need to go. It's maybe, like you said, it's maybe just Halloween I'm getting mixed up with. But I think like that was before I started using it. I was at the time I was just using it in galas just to pop the boys.
I remember one time we were doing what's it called? Union Square.
Yeah.
One of the wee promotion things for Anarchy we do every year. And there was Archer. There you go. His name pops up again. Archer versus Blue Thunder. And there was a guy in the front row. Entire match was yelling Stone Cold Stunner. And like entire 8-9 minutes into the match, he is still screaming Stone Cold Stunner. So eventually Blue Thunder just hit a Stone Cold Stunner. Pinned him 1, 2, 3. A guy was delighted. That was his day.
That's what you get at galas though. It's not, admittedly, it's normally kids and grown men that's shouting moves at you, but yeah, he's like, it's a gala. We'll just pop the crowd and pop ourselves at this point.
I just let the kids have what they want.
Yeah. 619. I'll get a bash when I look good, but
6-1-ish.
yeah. It's not quite the 9, but yeah, it's almost there. But yeah, that's.
Archer can pick up your feet and physically spin you.
It would need to be
outside the ring, and then just spins your feet.
It would need to be. I'd need some assistance. I don't think I tried, but yeah, that's the one that's in my arsenal. I don't think.
Yet.
There's certain moves I've looked at a train and thought I could do that, and then you get to it and you're like, nah, it's no for me. It's no for me. Like for a few weeks of training, I thought I've not got anything. Excuse me. Where I come off the ropes where a guy's lying down or whatever. Obviously Archer's got his elbow drop, so I thought I could do I go up to the second and do a leg drop, and I went to training once and I sat in the second row with it. Nah, it's too high. I'm gonna kill my arse. It's not for me. I'll let Archer stick with his elbow drop, and I'll just keep punching and kicking the guy. It's fine.
Turn up and stomp him. Less is more.
Yeah. Or it was like 450. That it's only a front flip and a bit. How hard could it be? And you got there and you think, nah, no fucking danger. Not a fucking chance. And then, like, that 1 week, I thought about it, and then young Connor Ingalls, he went up and tried it. And for whatever reason, he kept getting, I can't remember if it was too much or not enough, but he was basically landing on his feet. And then he was like landing on his feet, like rolling out. So he was like almost landing on his feet. And it was like, see if you could land on your feet. You could do that in the bother. That would look cool as fuck. And he kept trying it, and when he tried to land on his feet, he just couldn't do it. He just fucked it. It's like, well,
he's got to try for the opposite one.
Yeah, I try and nail land on your feet, and he would nail it in the bother. It's like these young guys that come in. It's like, can you nail? But yeah, less than a minute, so we'll call it there. We'll just wait till the time we're on it. We'll, as I've said before, I'm too cheap to buy the full version of Zoom, so we'll get kicked out and we'll come back like nothing's happened, and we'll just carry on and some clever editing. I'll input the riff that
I would offer to do it on my account, but I think that would just make the recording confusing.
Yeah, it's fine like this. I get it. I've got it down to an art now.
I won't interfere with your system then.
Yeah, I would say if it's not broke, then I fix it, but it is broke, so.
Still didn't fix it.
I still just didn't. I can deal with broke. Then I can how to fix it. That's a. There we go. Give your consent.
Consent granted.
Who's transition?
Right, so as you can see, we're back again, and as we do with these things, as I do, if we come back for a break, I've got the question that I ask that, like, is as wrestlers or as referees as you guys are, we like to do some fantasy booking. Because I'm a music guy, I like to hear what you guys are into. So we're talking your dream gig. So you've got 3 bands, you've got an opener, a mid-card, and a headliner. It could be any era. It could be Living or Dead, Broken Up, or whatever. It can make as much or as little sense as you like it to be, or you can go into as much detail as you want. So I don't know if any of you guys have thought about this before, having listened to past podcasts, or who wants to go first?
Can I pick 3 events to be my 3?
Say again?
Can I pick 3 main event level bands, or has it got to be like?
No. It can, like I said, it can make as much or as little sense as you like. It's your gig. You're the booker. You can book it whichever way you want.
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna go with the first 3 that came to my mind.
Right. We'll let Mikey go first. Then we'll do Mikey's one, and then we'll get back to some chat, and then the next break we'll come back and we'll do Dennis's one. So go ahead, Mikey. What's your 3?
Opener.
Yep.
Gonna be my favorite band of all time, Metallica.
Right. Okay. An opener.
Opener.
Wow.
Because afterwards we're gonna have to perform some sort of dead-raising ritual to get Freddie Mercury back, because I want Queen next.
Right. Okay.
And then we're gonna close with an entire orchestra playing an evening of John Williams.
Wow.
That's epic.
That's a U-turn, if ever there was one.
Yeah, that would be quite the gig.
No idea how you would facilitate such a thing.
No, that's why it's a dream gig.
Yeah, it might just be easy to go for 3 bands, but in my dream gig, there's space for an orchestra on this stage.
Yeah, that's.
So would you get Metallica maybe to do a couple of sort of S&M songs as well? With the orchestra there, anyway.
I'd get Metallica to learn the Jurassic Park theme. In there somewhere.
Yeah, that would be something. Metallica playing Jurassic Park. That's like I've obviously nobody's been at gigs for that long, but if that was on, that would be something that would get my money. Just
I would be there in a heartbeat. I got tickets this morning to see Sabaton in March next year.
That one seems a bit weird to me, like playing the Hydro for Sabaton.
Yeah. Have you seen who the support are though?
No, I don't think so.
So it's the Who, not that Who, the HU Who.
Yeah.
That Mongolian band that make metal out of traditional Mongolian instruments.
Right.
They were a meme for a hot minute a couple of years ago. And the opener is Lordi.
Oh yeah, no, I did see Lordi were yeah, I saw Lordi were there.
I loved Lordi. That year they won Eurovision was the first year I watched. And I thought that's what Eurovision was. So it was a complete decline from that point. I still watch every year.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good gig. I'm really excited for that.
I like it.
I just went to Sabaton over lockdown.
Like I saw them Sabaton 2009, 10. They played Sonosphere one year.
Okay.
Or, in fact, no, I saw them before that. They supported I want to say it was Airborne or Dragon Force. It was one of the two at Fat Sam's in Dundee. They supported them. I thought these guys are good, and then obviously the next year I saw them at Sonosphere. Saw them again, and I thought were good. But it seems a strange thing they're playing the Hydro. Like it seems like it's a fucking massive venue. So it's.
I think I'll do that. I think
yeah.
So many folk are gagging to get back at gigs as well.
Aye, that's the thing.
Yeah, ticket for everything. That must have been 2010 that you saw them, because I was at Sonosphere in 2009 and 2011. They didn't play.
Yeah, I probably had that again. It's been that long ago.
One.
Aye, it does. Like I did download for 2005 every year up till 2012, and then I did 3 or 4 Sonospheres, and I was like, it's too much drinking. It's at the same gig now.
Sonosphere is my favourite. I've done download a few times. I did Sonosphere twice. I just like Sonosphere so much better.
I prefer download and the old setup when they changed. When the old setup they had when the second stage like in the middle of the racetrack.
Oh, I never saw that.
Or in fact, maybe both of them were in the middle of the racetrack. Like they were both, and then the motorcycle racing guys kicked up because the burger vans were putting grease out of the track and they were slipping because they were there like the next week or 2 weeks after or whatever it was. So they shift that away for the track. But yeah, the first couple of years it was doing there, I prefer download, but Sonosphere had a good setup the way they did like the two main stages. I say 2 main stages, it was like a first stage and a second stage, but that was a kind of alternated bands in between the 2 stages.
Aye, so there was like no dead air.
Yeah.
I like that they were like facing each other, so the crowd were in the middle and just kind of basically turned around.
Yeah, aye. Yeah. No, I did enjoy that. Like, I'd like to go back to festivals, but it's just like finding the money and being allowed.
Yeah, got responsibilities now.
Yeah.
And I'm at the stage now where I've almost seen everyone I listen to at least once now. Minus maybe.
I've got a handful left that I need to see now. That's like there's a couple left that I'll never see. Like Van Halen, they were rumored to play download for years and years, and then obviously fucking Eddie died. It's like, well, that's that fucked. But yeah,
Guns N' Roses for me. I had a ticket to see them in May of last year.
Yeah.
Tottenham. And that got it's been rescheduled to next year.
Yeah.
See them. So I had to miss them because when they played download, the same weekend as Battle of the Nations.
See, I say Guns N' Roses. It wasn't the guy. It was Axel and his fucking hired hands. In 2000, they played download in 2006. I want to say. But yeah,
that's not.
That was as close as I got.
I've seen Slash, I think 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've seen Slash, and I've seen. Fuck, what was the band was in? Velvet Revolver.
Oh yeah.
Him and Duff. So yeah, I've seen them. I've seen Duff's band. Is it fucking Walking Papers? I've seen them a handful of times. They were good. A little bit different than Guns N' Roses, but aye, they were good. But yeah, but that's enough music chat for just now. I think we'll get back to it the next break we get.
Well, Denzel hasn't given his dream gig yet.
No, we'll
For the next break.
The next break we get, we'll come back and we'll do Dennis's ones. We'll get into it and see if Dennis can top yours.
It's not happening. I'll tell you that now. Prepare for disappointment.
It can't be any worse than Connor's, let's be honest.
What was Connor's?
True.
Oh, yeah, it was Beyonce.
Oh, yeah.
Right, it's already fucked it, but okay.
No, Beyonce was his headliner. I want to say, was it Adele and Ariana Grande? The one that I can't fucking say. Like, Connor's first words when I mentioned it was, I've not heard any bands. So instantly you was got to fuck it. It's like, no, Connor, you've heard bands before. No, you just... So, it is what it is.
Bloody kids. Okay.
He did set it up. He was going to fuck it before he actually fucked it. So,
oh well, that's fine. He called his shot.
He did put some thought into it. To be fair, he's like, "Oh, this will get the crowd going, then we'll slow them down and get them back up again." So it's like there was some wrestling psychology in there. I was like,
oh, "Okay, he's telling a story."
He is. It's like it's a shite story, but he tried. So before...
No, sorry. No, I'm just going to continue the music talk. Let's move on. Move me on for me.
Well, what I was going to say was we briefly touched on the gala kind of things, which I'm a big fan of, and I assume like everyone I've spoken to is a big fan of the galas. Everyone loves a gala. So going with that. Have you got any favourite gala moments or any galas in particular you've worked?
You locking Hail of Valhalla out the door in Huddle House. I don't think that'll ever be topped for me. You didn't tell me the finish. You just told me count out. I was like, yeah, okay. I remember thinking, a count out. Oh man, that's going to be disappointing. Okay, well, whatever you want to do. And then I saw the spot and you closing the door. I was on like 5 or whatever. I just thought, oh my God, that's amazing. Dixon counted that. I don't remember. Did he come back in like the front door raging after he lost?
I know, he walked all the way around the front. Even though like I fucked closing the doors because I couldn't close them right, so I just had to stand there holding them till about 9. So he could have just opened them again once I'd walked away, but yeah, no, he committed to it and he walked all the way around the front. Which is fair play.
God, the folk outside who didn't know there was wrestling going on just see these doors swinging open and this massive man walked out.
Just half-naked guy, built like fuck, banging on the door to get back in. I was like, what the fuck's going on here?
Oh, yeah, that was a good one for me.
Yeah, that remains my finest gala moment. It probably will for as long as we ever do galas.
You can retire from galas now.
Yeah, I've completed them.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's like the Wrestlezone gala story will be that story in history. Looking back, they'll just be retelling this story over and over for its greatness.
Yeah, I could live with that. It's fine.
Yeah. So I think like my gala story is a Union Square one. I've got a reputation for kind of being quite like an iceman kind of character when I'm refereeing, so very rarely do I kind of break, or corpse or whatever in the ring.
Yeah.
Even the likes of doing like Grado matches or whatever, I can still kind of keep my composure. But there was this one match at Union Square. It was like early on in the day, and it was Scotty Swift. I can't remember what his opponent was, but for some reason Scotty had like a top on. He doesn't normally have a top on when he wrestles. So he's wrestling away. And then Martin kind of, at one point, they must have maybe a double down or something, or Martin kind of just pops his head under the rope and goes to Swift. He goes, what what are you wearing a vest for? You shite arse. And I just completely like lost it. I just couldn't, because I didn't expect it. And I overheard, and I was just gone. And that was me. I was just burst. I couldn't keep, that was me. Finished for the match. Let's just go home because I can't stop laughing at just this one comment. And it's not like out of context, probably it's not funny, but in the way of the match, I just lost it. So Martin got me, and it was really annoying that it had to be Martin that kind of broke the Iceman.
Yeah, like it's well known backstage that Dennis is notoriously hard to break character in.
Yeah,
Tries
it very rarely happens.
Yeah,
because I mean, what's that?
No, you finish.
No. On you go, Mikey.
I was just gonna say the last show that I did was the last show. You know what I'm going with.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
So do I, yeah.
Vigo versus Alan Sterling. I've corpsed in matches once or twice as well. I'm not as hard to break as you, but I think I can hold it together pretty well. I remember he was getting some heat on Vigo, and he's what was he shit talking about? Is like, where's your bike or something like that?
Yeah, it was something like that along those lines.
Yeah. And he's stomping in, and he goes, "Where's your bike now, you big?" No, I have come to learn after the match that he was meant to. He thought to say, "You big stupid fuck," and then realized mid-sentence, no, there's kids in the audience. So what came out was, "Where's your bike, you big stupid tit?" It wasn't even that funny, but it was the pause of the confusion and the fact that he stayed so angry whilst being confused and just blurted out "tit," thinking that boom, nailed it, saved it. No one noticed. I was fucking gone.
Yeah, that match was it was an ordeal from start to finish. I
think we were all in a giggly mood going in as well, so it didn't take much. It was the straw breaking the camel's back.
It's it might have been that point. It was at one point in the match where he did something. He was pinning me, and I could hear you giggling behind me. I was like, "Mikey, dinner," because I'm on the verge.
Yeah, I remember counting a pinfall and not even like yelling once. Like I just headed my, just slapping the mat, facing up. There was a point like when the crowd noticed, I just stopped trying to hide it because I couldn't. I was crying. I could, when you laugh so hard, like your body just convulges and you can't stand. I was like holding onto the rope just to stay on my feet. There's a video somewhere I've seen it. Yeah,
like I missed mixed martial Allen. Like when I came in, he was doing the Lord Allen, but I maintain that the gimmick he was doing before we got shut down is by far the funniest and best gimmick he's ever had. It's fucking tremendous.
It is just he's the hardest to referee because to try and maintain composure. He pretty much gets to my limit, and I can just about keep composure, but I'm very, very close to losing it with Alan.
The two times I've corpsed in the ring have both been, I like serious corpsing, not like the odd chuckle here and there.
Yeah.
I've both been for Captain Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the fact he's got Big Caleb there with him, and the Caleb's supposed to be this big hard man, and like he's supposed to be like you say, he's supposed to be the Iceman, and you could see him going because he just can't hold it together.
No.
Well, I think that's what made it worse when I was laughing in that first story. When I was laughing, I'm like facing outside the ring, so my back's to the audience, thinking maybe I won't see it. And then I see Martin and Caleb just like crying with laughter as well. I was like, this isn't helping. Don't know where to look.
He's like I love like anytime there's Alan's in a match, like everyone's watching backstage at the monitor because
it's a sellout with the monitor. Yeah.
It's always fucking hilarious. It's fucking like I love Captain Alan. It's the fact he wears that wee hat and it never comes off. Like no matter what he does.
I remember that same match. That was around the time where things hadn't started shutting down yet,
Yeah.
But we were aware of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
And he had like sanitation wipes with him, and he was like wiping down the ropes before he hit them and stuff. Like every now and again, he would take his hat off, wipe it down, put it back on. It's like, oh, it's only been on your head. What are you wiping it for?
Yeah, that was before things got very, very serious, and we could still make light to it. And then, and then everyone with the shit was like, we could never talk about this again.
That very quickly aged poorly.
Yeah, it did.
That aged poorly by a month after it happened.
Yeah, especially the finish. The finish was just like, I've got coronavirus, coughed on. I was like, never get away with that now. Not a fucking chance.
Cancelled.
Yeah. Luckily, that one's there on the Wrestlezone Facebook page running. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. It never happened. Yeah.
We'll find it. The clip of all of us laughing. We can isolate that.
Yeah, aye.
And just claim there was no other match attached to it.
It went in non-finish.
Aye, that was it.
Yeah, like you said, like fucking, it was it the Rumble? Was meant to be 2 weeks after that, or 3 weeks?
Yeah, it wasn't long after that. Yeah.
Same month. Yeah, it was March.
And then I was us fucking shut down. Fuck.
Yeah.
But do you mind last summer when things shut down? We thought, we'll maybe get back for gala season.
Yeah, and then we'll get back for Halloween. We'll get back for Christmas. We'll get back
Christmas.
back for the Rumble.
Rumble.
Yeah, it just goes on and on and on and on, and that's
chomping at the bit to get back.
Yeah. If the gear wrestlers on the due, they've like some other companies have like, we're running this date. It's like they've been very professional about it.
Yeah, it's not like
to see.
Yeah, it's not like we've got this date. Oh no, we've cancelled this date. Here's the next date. We've got the next date. We cancelled it. The other companies. Yeah, we're taking a professional approach.
Yeah, like as they always do. Like so, everyone's always by the book. Even with training, it's like, so like obviously you've seen companies on fucking Twitter just taking the piss. Fucking, we're back at training before they're filming stuff when they shouldn't be even fucking in training or whatever. Or doing full contact training when we're still doing non-contact when we're supposed to. It's like, just play by the rules, boys, and we get back sooner. That's the fucking thing.
You guys fully vaccinated or just first dose at the moment?
I've got my second dose next week, I think, or week after. 20.
Week on Friday for my second.
Oh, so I don't have a date for my second yet.
Yeah, I got the letter through last week, the week before, so I'll be fully 5G'd.
I went to get a new phone 2 weeks ago, and the guy mentioned, when I was looking at the display models, he mentioned, oh, this one has 5G, this one has 5G. I thought, oh, that'll be handy because I've had my first dose. The guy, like, I was expecting it to be like, oh, I bet everyone says that. Apparently, no one had made that joke yet. That was the first one.
Really?
You like that joke? I'm dead proud.
I thought you would have heard that all day.
Yeah, like, I feel like I'm the first person to make the joke if it doesn't scan at the till, saying, oh, it must be free then.
You just know you've opened the floodgates now, though. Like, everyone will be in there saying it now.
It doesn't matter. I was the first.
Yeah, you're the first.
I was the first in this specific O2 shop in the Bonaccord Centre.
Aye, that's going on the CV.
Ooh, not a bad idea.
Like that's my thing now. So, like, what's the most ridiculous thing you can get on a CV? Like Martin was like he won the very first birthday bash quiz. It's like that's the most ridiculous thing to put on a CV. Like,
I think so. Could I put like successful at bottle stalls at gala on my CV? Because that's a thing that I do enjoy at a gala. You know, it's like bottle stall. I'm in. Me and Martin usually at the bottle stall. We got tickets. See what we can win.
Aye, that's like doing the rounds at the galas, that's like your fucking the wee stalls and or like the last day, like it's not aired yet as we record this, but we speaking of Zach Dynamite, and he was on about getting to like leaving a match halfway through to go to the ice cream van. It's like
I remember that.
Like getting away with it. Yeah. Or was it? No, it was a three-way. He said it was. It was him Crusher and somebody else. He couldn't remember who the other one was. But yeah, he just rolled out the ring and fucked off. And like full gimmick, ice cream van comes out echoing. Tremendous.
You know that.
I don't remember what happened. I really hope he just came back in the ring with the cone and got it kicked right in his face.
Oh, that would be amazing.
It would be, but you can. There's certain guys like Thunder who would go fucking mental at his ring getting around.
Oh yeah.
As soon as the ice cream hits the canvas, he's not even there. He's back in the tent getting changed. He's just
He wasn't even that. That was the day we were on two shows. He was running Cove and he still felt it.
Yeah.
There's a disturbance in the force.
Because I think when we did the Enjoy Music Festival, people were like eyeing up the sort of inflatable slide, but I don't think anyone got their match over to it quite. Like they didn't get over to it, but they were looking at it as if to say, what could we do on there?
Yeah.
I think that's something we need to do more of. Interact with the entire gala somehow. I know there was one summer where every single gala had the spot where heel gets an inflatable hammer.
Yeah.
Whacks a babyface with it. Babyface no sells it. Takes it. Whacks him. Heel bumps.
There was one we worked. In fact, it was a music festival. I don't know if it was the same one with the slide. It was the one where it was just fucking scorching. It was burning hot before we even started.
So I remember that one.
Me and Crusher had a match, and we brawled to it was a tent, like me, I don't know, like 50 yards away. It was doing like puppet shows, so me and Crusher brawled around there just to get some shade, and there's just like this full-on puppet show going on, and there's just this two guys at the back knocking fuck at each other. It's like, kids are like, what the fuck? It's like, no, we need some shade because it's fucking roasting it there. Like I didn't envy the guys that like just wrestling like Dynamite just in his punts. Because like you touch the canvas, it was just burning. Like I've got shorts and t-shirt on, so I kind of get away with it. But like you kind of like your bare skin and your arm touches it, fuck, that's burning.
I mind Stonehaven one year was scorching hot as well. I did a match with Zach Dynamite and Scotty Swift, and they went down for a double down. I think they were up by about 4 because.
Yeah, instantly rolling as soon as they touch your mat. It's like, nah, it's not for me. Nah, too hot. But yeah, that one in the music festival we worked. I was like,
roasting.
We were there at I want to say like 9-10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And it didn't start till like 12. And like my arms were already burnt by the time we started.
Oh, it was a crazy day. I mean, building the ring in that temperature was just it was obscene. It was just no good. It was a long day, but like it was good to like work at music festival, but in that heat it just wasn't enjoyable because sometimes galas are quite good because it's not like you're in like a roasting hot venue, you know, you're outside, so the conditions can be quite favorable in terms of like keeping your gas tank going, you know, you're not like sweating buckets. But yeah, that wasn't much fun.
Too much. In fact, was that the same one? Like, can't remember if that was the one with the tent or we got chained in the truck in the back of like just a fucking.
We got changed it was a truck. We got changed.
Aye, 18
there was someone. There was like another team getting. There was something else getting changed in there as well.
Aye, I want to see. Was it like it was that the lassies dressed up like the Disney princesses, man?
It's like, I think I would have been. Yeah.
You boys are gonna have to get out because these lassies are coming in now, and like it was just the sun was just hitting it, and it was like a fucking like big metal fucking trailer. It was like an oven.
It was oven. Yeah. Because was you at Cove that day, Mikey, or was it someone else doing Cove?
No, I was at the day that it was Hazelhead and Cove head to head. I was at Hazelhead, so you must have been at Cove. So that must have been another year.
Must have. I think because the year that it was actually roasting, maybe Manton did Cove. although you were available.
That was the year he ripped his trousers, was it not?
He ripped his breeks like early
Aye.
on. I don't think we told him about how referees should wear like black boxers because, like, you know, it kind of lessens the impact of a torn breek. So
Yep. Keeping the refereeing secrets to yourselves.
Well, he had earned his stripes literally, so you know he's got to get on his own.
I got a plain white T-shirt at this point.
Yeah. As long as he wasn't wearing trackies or shorts, because that really grinds my gears.
Yeah, referees and trackies or like you said, shorts. It's like, it's
the worst.
Try and be semi-professional. Come on, play the game.
Untucked shirt as well. Just no. It's not what you should be doing. Maintain professional at all times as a referee. Now someone will go and find a picture of me with an untucked shirt, but there'll be a perfectly good reason for it. And I could explain it right now. And, you know, it was Cove Gala. It was Executioner against Scotty Swift, and they decided to have mid-match a thumb war, which I refereed. And then all of a sudden, I got involved in the thumb war, which then Swift took my referee's top off of me. What he put it on, and then I must have beat Executioner at a thumb war because it was Executioner.
Yeah,
so
it's Executioner.
That's my untucked shirt excuse.
Don't shit on the Executioner. He has a pinfall victory over Scotty Swift while he was undisputed champion.
He does, yeah.
I know.
It's in the record books. You can't dispute it.
It happened.
There's always an exception to a rule.
Broken clock is right twice a day.
True. Yeah.
Like,
and imagine he went under the ring before he got that victory.
He must have done. Yeah, he's always under that ring.
Where he lives.
Like we speak about like Captain Al being tremendous. Like Executioner's another one. It's always pops me. Like I don't think I've ever been in a match with Executioner. I've always wanted to, but we've never got one.
Oh, that has to be rectified when we get back.
First match back, you and Executioner.
So much fun an Executioner match. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be petitioning for that one. Me and Executioner.
First handstand I ever did. Handstand cartwheel. First cartwheel I ever successfully did in my life was during an Executioner match.
As you do.
That wasn't because of him. That was because this was in Huntly one year. It was Executioner versus someone. Scotty Swift had gotten a hold of the microphone into our earpieces. So throughout the match, he was giving me little challenges. Things like, Mikey, referee in French. Or little things like that I could probably get away with. And then when I was successfully doing all these, you realize, okay, I've got to up the ante here. So I just hear in my ear, Mikey, do a cartwheel. How the fuck am I working a cartwheel into this match? So I went to Executioner. It was still quite early on. I said, do a cartwheel. And he was like, what? Why? Just do it. Okay, so he, very confused, does a cartwheel. And then I go over to him and say, okay, now challenge me to do a cartwheel. And that's how I managed to work a cartwheel into the match. Then I realized as I was going down for it, I was like, I've never done a cartwheel. So it was fine, I think.
Nailed it.
See, they don't get any cut from me on the headsets if they're doing funny business. Although I think I did once have to tell Ted that Liverpool lost. Like, that was called over the headset.
Yeah, you have
I
to
thought he was
that
very
one.
impressed. Yeah. I had to kind of fade the heat backstage after that one.
Yeah. That must like I said, saying refereeing, that must be another skill, is getting that things to the headset and passing it on.
Took me a while to get used to.
Same.
It just kind of becomes second nature.
Because it's like a fairly recent thing we've had at Wrestlezone. I say fairly recent.
We used to always have them for the ballroom.
Yeah.
Like, we'd make a point of having them for the ballroom just because obviously timings and the ballroom's so important. You don't want you want it to be like spot on, you know, all the way through.
Yeah.
but then we got a set that we could use at kind of any show, and yeah, we kind of use them all the time. But it is quite a skill. You've got to have receptive participants in the match before it really can work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we can just pass on the messages, but if they're not listening to the messages,
Yeah.
not much we can do about
Which does remind me of a story where, you know, like a particular match should have went home 5 minutes before it did, but they just ignored me because they had they had planned the match out to such an extent that they had to do everything that was planned. No matter what I said wasn't going to change the end product. So that was like a frustrating side of being a referee, is like telling someone to go home and they just like completely ignore you.
Was that us?
Yeah. No. No.
I think I know what's right. I think I know who.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
When you said
Sorry,
that,
I'm too put.
I remember
It's,
we had a match at Turf, and I think you were the ref. It was us against the Outfit, and we went like fucking 25 minutes, and it was fucking horrible. Like, they were ending the heat, and I'm trying to call Dennis, and I'm like, Dennis, tell them to go home. Like, come on, wrap it up now. And he went across and told them, it was like, they still went and did someone else. Like, no, it's time to go home now, come on. And they just kept fucking going.
Should have just broke out a shoot pin.
Yeah.
The first beach bottom show we did, the first message I got in my ear, I was standing there because I was match 1. Martin's doing all the announcements, and I just hear in my ear, Mikey, don't fuck up. I was like, what the fuck is that? So I'm looking around, and I look at the entranceway, and I just see over the top of, like, you know, our curtains, the scaffold for the curtains.
Yeah.
Over the top of that, I see Billy Gunn's head with the walkie. As if just to let me know, look at the power I've found. Like
you mentioned Billy Gunn, this is what I'm drinking tonight.
There we go. Yes.
That's the perfect beer. Yeah.
just for this occasion.
Partnership. Perfect partnership. That was a hell of a bromance, Mikey.
He still follows me on Twitter, as far as I know.
I was just about to ask that. Does he still? Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna check. Hold on.
This could be really good or really bad.
Let's get to a live reaction and finding out he does.
Yeah.
He's moved on to AEW. He's got bigger fish to fry.
He's got his sons to worry about now, not you, Mikey.
Mikey will always be his favourite.
Yeah. You raised like adopted Scottish son.
Follows me. Still follows me.
Yes. Follows you.
Wow.
There we go.
Because I think like my memory of you and Billy Gunn was, oh, there's only a minute left. I'll quickly get the story out of the way. I think like the signing was upstairs,
yeah.
And for some reason, and I don't know how you ended up like you were like on the floor or something. I don't know why you were like lying on the floor, and like Billy Gunn walked in and he was like, Mikey, and he's like, what are you doing? And it was just like, but he wasn't like being nasty about it. It was like your banter was like so good over that weekend that he knew that he could wind you up and get away with it, and you would take it. And I think he really respected you the way you took his kind of.
I don't know why we clicked so well. We just
yeah. It was really good to see, especially like during the match as well. Must have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a fun match.
Who was his opponent that night?
Rob Cage.
That was up.
I remember at one point, I'll tell this story quickly. Rob had him in a sleeper. I go in and I say to him, all right, Billy, what do you say? What do you say? And this is when Fandango was at his most popular, 2013. So I go, what do you say? What do you say? And his response is, da 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 da. And he's still cool in the face, so the crowd can't tell.
Oh, it's so good.
Tremendous.
I didn't corpse it in.
I'm impressed. I would have thought that would have broke you.
No. Laser focus. That was the first bottom. There was no laughing that.
Yeah, I no fucking that up. You'd already been told to fuck up.
Yeah.
You can get away with an academy show with Captain Al, but nay in the ballroom with Billy Gunn. Right, here we are. We're back again. Some clever editing again.
Seamless transition once again.
Once again. I keep mentioning it, so it's not seamless, but yeah.
I can't see. I'm assuming it's seamless.
Yeah, it's as seamless as this podcast is going to get.
I'll take that as a win.
Yeah. So we've had a break, and Dennis has had some time to think about it. So let's get back into some dream booking.
Okay.
So
Can I just throw in a quick Billy Gunn story before I tell you about my 3 bands?
go on then.
Okay, because I think when Mikey, would you be able to confirm this? When he was like dropped off initially at the venue, was Stevenson like testing the music and played the Fandango theme?
That rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, I hate that song. As he was like walking across the ballroom. It's like, great, let's get this humongous American man grumpy from the minute he like walks into the venue. This is going to be a great day. Because he is like one of the, he's humongous. I think until you've like been next to him, you can't appreciate how big he is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's
huge.
deceptively big.
Yeah.
Like he looks big on telly, and then he's even bigger in person.
Mm.
Yeah. There's a few guys like that though. Like I thought the same with Devon. Like I thought Kenny's just an average guy sidekick. Like he's not that tall, but he's fucking wide as fuck. It's like holy fuck.
Yeah.
Foley as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Holy shit, yeah. And that was with like broken down knees, and he could, he wasn't in a great shape, but he was huge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was before he started doing DDP yoga. Yeah.
But he's like saying this. He's one of those guys you think he's just an average sized guy, and he comes in, he's like what 6 feet whatever. I was like holy fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Okay.
let's get into it. Dennis, you've got a headliner, you've got a mid card, and you've got an opener. It can make as much or as little sense as you like.
The opener is gonna be unpopular, and he's probably gonna hate it himself, and it's also gonna have a bearing on the catering at the gig. But my opener is gonna be Morrissey because I like his music. I don't like, just putting out there, I do not agree with any of his political views.
As soon as you said catering, I can't exactly where you were going with that.
Yeah. So, I'll have to be very strict at the gig. If anybody thinks about putting a burger, as soon as a sniffer burger comes through, he's storming off stage. So we're going to have to be very careful.
Yeah. Wait until he's finished before you get the burgers on.
I know, but what about me? I'm going to have to break the news to him that he's the opener. I mean, he's not going to be very keen, but, hopefully he'll still perform. I'll play my vegetarian card, hopefully. It'll get him on side. So yeah, my opener is Morrissey,
right?
And he's followed up by same as Martin, but it's like the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper era will be next.
Right. Okay.
Just the greatest rock band ever. So they've got to be on as my 3. No, I think about my headline, because I don't think they'll play very long, so I don't want to put them in the headline.
Well, like Martin says, they play 40 minutes, but if they don't like it, they'll play half an hour. They'll play it quicker.
Yeah. So I'll have my stopwatch, and that'll see if I'll get to hang out with them after the gig or not. And it's really difficult, the headliner. I think I have to put Bad Religion as a headliner, probably because they're one of my tippy top favourite bands.
Yeah.
Swift told the story about going to the gig in Glasgow and enjoying the gig because he was enjoying like me seeing them for the first time.
Yeah.
And I think they're a band that's got better and better and better as they've got older, but still can perform the old stuff at the same kind of pace. So yeah, we'd finish with Bad Religion on top.
Yeah.
So that's my gig. So not as exciting as Mikey, but a bit more controversial, I think.
Yeah, like I've said, as long as nobody says you two, we'll be fine.
Yeah, or Biffy Clyro, I believe.
Well, I can tolerate Biffy.
Just with Biffy. Have you heard Biffy's cover of Holier Than Thou?
Yes, I have. It's fucking garbage.
I loved it.
I've heard guys saying, "Oh, it's tremendous." Like, it's not for me. No, then
it's very different. It is very different, but I really liked it.
Yeah, no, it's like I said. I can understand why they're big and why they're so popular, but they're just not for me. They're not my band.
That's fair enough.
But just happen to support lots of bands that you like.
They did. Like for a while, like they were just breaking through, and they supported everyone, and they were at every festival. So they're probably one of the bands I've seen most, which is why I can probably tolerate them. I've never seen U2, and I've no desire to see U2.
Absolutely not.
Nah. So like, Ken Bono, get back in your fucking box. Fuck off.
Aye. Agreed.
So yeah, that's my opinion on U2, and that's how it will stay. So if anyone mentions U2 in their dream gigs, their connection will instantly be lost.
That'll be a swift transition. The next window will just be you on its own saying, well, that's all the time we have to do.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
So yeah, like before we got cut off and when we come back, we're speaking with Billy Gunn. So let's get into some of the imports we've had across and some of the experiences we've had with some of them. Like I've said before, we've as long as I've been there, apart from one, which I name check every fucking time, so I'm not going to this time. Every one of them has been like tremendous as far as I've been concerned. Certainly the time I've been there. But what about you guys? Who's been your like? Obviously you, Dennis, because you're part of. I don't know if it's the committee or whatever it is. It's involved in taking these guys across. So, but who's been some of your favourites coming across and being involved with and getting to meet and whatever?
I think X-Pac's pretty much top. X-Pac and Jay Lethal are probably the two definitely nicest guys. Jay Lethal, when he came over on his own, won the titles with Scottish Swift, beat Team Smash at the Northern. What a nice guy. I think myself and Mikey went up and asked him advice, and he was very receptive and very giving with his advice. Very easy to work with. And he seemed to really enjoy himself, and it wasn't that kind of like, I'm here just to get a payday. He actually seemed to enjoy the buzz of the crowd.
Very selfless.
Like winning the titles. He didn't want to go out. He wanted to go out as the challenger when he was introduced. He didn't want to go, he didn't want to go out, second. He's like, we're the challengers, we go up first. I mean, very selfless.
Yeah.
X-Pac, because on the run sheet, it was meant to be out. Because Lethal was the big he was going to come out last. And when he was an import for that show. Yeah, when he found out, he went to the guys and said, look, is it okay if the champions come out last? Because they're the champions. They should come out last.
Aye.
Aye, that tells you all you need to know about him.
Aye, there's somebody who doesn't need to be. He's like everyone I've spoken to about Lethal, like you said, he's no ego. He's there to make the show better or as good as it can be.
Yeah, because I think he was very generous with feedback backstage as well, I believe.
Yeah.
We don't often get to see what goes on backstage because we're usually, one of us will do 135 and the other one will do 246. So we're kind of on the show most of the time or preparing to be on the show. So, but from what I heard, Lethal was just lovely. Whereas X-Pac was a different kettle of fish, but nice in his own way.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really nice. For the match as well, he was quite vocal in sort of what he wanted to do. And when he came in to do stuff, it was like you were midnight, we were like late 90s again. He was hitting everything. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
And then after the show, myself and Dave P, we were taking him back to his hotel, but he wanted something to eat, so we took him to McDonald's, in Bucksburn, just because he was staying at the Marriott, so nice hotel. So X-Pac didn't really get changed after the show. He kind of just took his straps off and put them down. So we're standing in the queue at McDonald's, and we've got X-Pac, half naked X-Pac, lecturing us about how like lettuce is a waste of time, and it's like, why would you eat it? It's just water. And I think he got recognized maybe once or twice. People were like, "Are you X-Pac?" And I was thinking, well, if you look at his tights, it probably says X-Pac, so you don't really need to ask him. But never mind, you know. But my biggest regret is that myself and Dave didn't just like take one step back, take our phone and take a picture of this moment of X-Pac in the Bucksburn McDonald's with his straps down. That would have just been the perfect end to the weekend. Would have been that picture. But neither of us had the savvy to do it because he was kind of holding court with us. So
Yeah,
I was so gutted because when we went back to the hotel, he didn't understand that you can't smoke indoors.
yeah.
So he was locked out his room. So it was like another kind of like, I need to go and fix this. So the royal we kind of paid the fine, which he was very appreciative of. And he was like, "Oh man, you're like the greatest," and gave me like a big cuddle and stuff, and got him back in his room. But yeah, I believe that he caused a few people a lot of stress over the weekend because of his kind of like scattiness.
Yeah,
but a lovely guy. And once he came through the curtain, he was on.
Yeah, that's like the guys I've spoken to that were around for that show. I've said basically the same. He's a top guy, but he was hard work.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas like Scotty Too Hotty was the opposite. He was like really, really easy. I think you drove him about a few times, didn't you, Mikey?
Yeah, I was his driver for the weekend.
Yeah. He was really easy to deal with.
He was easy, yeah. And I also remember after the show, we went to Tesco, Bridge Dawn, because again it was on the way home, and he really wanted. He had a fascination with British chocolate. So we went to Tesco, and we were in the chocolate aisle, and I was basically giving him a grand tour. Now this is a dairy milk. Now, if you want something with a caramel crunch, you want some, and I'm just basically giving him a grand tour of all these, and he's like taking, oh yeah, okay, I'll have one of these, and I'll have one of them, I'll have one of these, and the two of us just drove back to the hotel. Him every now and again just offering me whatever packet he's got open at that time.
Yeah, it's
He was a good lad. I liked Scotty a lot.
We can't speak about imports without mentioning Uncle Jim as well.
What is he? Hold on. There he is.
He was just.
That's the one I was most gutted about missing you on. Like, I was before my time. Like, hearing the guy speak, I was like, fuck, I missed that. I said, can we just bring him back?
We really should. That was the moment where first ballroom, I'm standing in the ring, and it was the Granite City Hot Shots. I'm trying to think of the match. And Jim Duggan versus.
It was
Aspen, Midas.
Aspen, Midas, and
Scott Maverick.
Maverick, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm standing in the ring, and Jim Duggan's came out, obviously, he came out with a flag, and he's in the ring, and he's waving the flag, and I'm looking at him and thinking, I used to watch you on Friday nights, and it was so like surreal. You know what I mean? Obviously, I couldn't say that. I didn't want to come across.
Yeah.
You know, I still wanted to maintain the professionalism, but in my head, just like, I watched you with my dad when I was young, and now you're in the ring and you're giving it the USA ho, and we get 3-point stuff. You know what I mean? It was like he was doing the greatest hits, and it was just brilliant. Because a lot of times we divvy out kind of the imports based on kind of our age. Because Mikey's significantly younger than me, so if it's between like a Scotty Too Hotty catered more for like his age, whereas a Jim Duggan was more my age. My formative years were watching that era kind of WWF. Whereas like Scotty Too Hotty, which I probably didn't, which I guess because Mikey, you didn't start watching until 2002, did you?
2002, yeah.
But Scotty Too Hotty came back and forth. But
yeah,
I thought I need to get Duggan. Duggan is the one that I'm gonna, go for.
Yeah, I mean, I say 2002. I had SmackDown 2 on PS1. That was my real introduction to wrestling. I started watching in 2002, so I was aware of like the Attitude Era characters, who they were, so I knew who Scotty Too Hotty was.
But the best import match that that I refereed that I really remember vividly was Tatanka versus Demo. That was a sleeper. It's well worth checking out. What a fantastic match that was.
See, he was probably the only guy that Wrestle brought across it, like when I was like proper child, like when I was a proper kid, like before I was 10 or whatever, just say, like Tatanka was the guy that, like, he was from my era when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
like,
remember that kind of undefeated streak, and
yeah, I was like, cause we had, in fact, we were working Hurricane and Carlito in my favourite that night. And to think I was like, just seeing the guy like you grew up watching him. I was like, that's the tank over there. I grew up watching him. Like the other guys, like I'd seen Hurricane or Carlito, but like I was like much older at that point when they came in. I was like, no, that's the tank. I was like, he was kicking about when I was like fucking 6, 7, 8 year old, and it's like now I'm in the same changing room as him. Holy fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was quite surreal as well, because I do remember when Tatanka came on the scene and kind of like Mania 9 and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that was a very cool moment, and the match was just fantastic. Yeah. Perfect for our audience. That was just a perfect match for me.
That year, about a month or two before the Ballroom, was the WrestleMania that we went to in Dallas. And Tatanka, unannounced, pops up in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yeah.
I just remember watching it because obviously in the stadium, you kind of hear the commentators. So there's the point where like he squares off with someone. And we're looking and going, where the fuck is that? We're thinking, is that some NXT guy? Because we kind of see the face. We kind of tell it's... So we're like, have they called someone up from NXT? What's going on? And then we finally clicked. Oh shit, it's Tatanka. Go plug the bottom. He'd been announced by that point.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a post went up in the Wrestlezone Facebook that day.
No, it must have, yeah.
Yeah, just to capitalise. Because when CM Punk was doing the pipe bomb, was he in a Colt Cabana t-shirt maybe?
He mentioned him.
No, he was in an Austin t-shirt.
Austin, but he mentioned Cabana, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then I remember there was a post going up the same day, plugging, CM Punk's mentioned Colt Cabana. You can see him at the Northern Hotel, blah, 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 2011.
Yeah. That's Archer's favourite. I've never seen Archer bear anyone until he got fucking hammered that mixer we did, and he was like, nah, come on, I was just a cunt. It's like, holy fuck. Nice guy, Archer.
Yeah, it was
bringing me the shovel.
I know, I was quite stunned. I mean, there was an unnamed import, not Cabana, that wasn't the nicest, but like we had to take him in a car to Edinburgh, and I was trying to speak to him and he pretended to sleep, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna give up now. Obviously he just didn't want to speak to me, but they want to tell me he didn't want to speak to me, so instead I could tell, like you can tell when someone's sleeping and someone's pretending to sleep.
Yeah, just at it.
Just at it. And
when they're pretending to sleep, you know yourself, all right, I could stop trying now.
Yeah, I just gave up. Never mind. But again, I'm not gonna name the person, so
nice.
It'll go on the future, like formerly Nice Guy Denzel.
Episode 1 of Laying Down the Law is just you burying folk.
Burning every bridge.
Yeah.
I think my favorite import match that I did was Hornswoggle when he faced.
Luke and Sharp.
That match was brilliant.
I love that match so much. And actually, Swoggle was really cool. Like, usually after a match with an import, I'll find the guy not immediately after the match, but I'll find the guy at some point and ask for feedback, say, thank you for the match. How was it and all that. Match had ended. I come backstage. I've seen a couple of the guys, and they're saying, "Oh, that was really good. That was really good." And I'm saying, "Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well." And Swoggle comes and finds me, like as soon as he comes through the curtain, shake my hand and say, "Hey, thank you for the match." you were there everywhere I needed you. Thanks so much. I had so much fun. And then he goes to his dressing room to get showered. And I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, just all round nice guy. Like, and I remember, like, before the show, like, the guys who were in the ladder match that night were in the ring being stuffed. They were trying to sort stuff out or whatever. And Swoggle was just trying to see if you could climb the buckles to get to the top. And he overheard them doing this stuff, and he was just standing like a second rope. He's like, "Why do you need to do this instead?" And he pumped out some idea. I can't remember what the spot was or whatever. And then the guys looked at him, and then like you watch the match later on, and he used the exact spot that he came up with. I was like, he didn't need to do that. He was just there at the time. No. It's like, he overheard them. He was like, here's an idea. Why do you need to use this? It's like, but it's like some of the imports that bring across. You know, like I maintain like the year they worked as Hurricane. Like we went backstage after our match that night, just to thank you, whatever. And we never asked him for any advice or feedback. We were like, me and Archer were just back to say fucking thank you, whatever. And he gave us all this feedback. Like he was there for about like 20 minutes, giving us you should work on this and do this and whatever else he gave us. And he didn't need to give that up. He just gave it up because he's just a nice guy.
Hmm.
Yeah, he could have easily just said, "Hey, good match, thanks."
Yeah, aye.
Yeah.
Like it's like Archer was not happy because we'd forgotten a spot somewhere. We'd missed one spot and gone straight to someone else. And Archer thought he was going to get chewed out for us. I'll be fine. And it wasn't noticeable that they missed someone out. And he never mentioned it. Like he was a nice enough guy, and he didn't say anything. And he just he gave us this other feedback and advice for other things we should be doing.
Fun fact about that match: Hurricane told me when it was time to go home, not the earpiece, because he just had such a good read. He was on the apron, and I was walking past, and he calls me over, ref, and I walk past, and he just goes, "Right, tell him it's time to go home." So I was like, "All right," and I went, told him go home, and right enough, it was just the right moment for the go home sequence. The crowd popped for the finish. Man knows. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, it must be like, again, it's different for us working because I've worked imports 2 years, but it must be different for you guys refereeing those kind of matches, having that kind of knowledge behind them.
Oh, definitely. I think I was a little bit worried about refereeing Hardcore Holly just because of his kind of reputation, but you couldn't get a lovelier guy to work with. And then backstage,
one of the nicest.
Yeah.
People.
I think he watched every match backstage, or as soon as his match was over, he was at the monitor for the rest of the night.
And I remember we were watching. It was Grado's match. It was on at the time, and he was there, and he looked at Grado. He watched, and a couple of minutes ago anyway, and he just turned to I can't remember who it was else was standing, but he turned to somebody else and says, "That Grado guy, he gets it. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's going to be fucking massive."
Yeah, he called it.
Yeah,
because he was so nice.
Ollie was nervous before his match. I
think was it Len's retirement?
Yeah,
it was Len's retirement match. But Len, who he'd only met 3-4 days prior.
Yeah,
but he knew how important a retirement match was. So even though Holly's worked WrestleManias, knowing that this was Len's last match was enough to make him feel nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he understood the magnitude of that.
Yeah.
And he has the hardest chops I've heard in the ring. I think they hurt me. I think I got hurt by osmosis. And some of the ones that Stu got.
I was going to say, Johnny Lyons can attest to that fact, I think.
He pushed it, and Holly was more than willing to deliver on. But it's like Lyons is asking for it, he's going to get it.
Yeah, just give him it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was actually a really fun match to referee as well. A couple of minutes in, my nerves were gone, and we were just in the zone.
Yeah.
And he gave good feedback afterwards to everyone, and I think it being Len's last match as well, I thought that was quite an honour to referee. Aye. So I'd refereed obviously his World of Sport match with Aspen as well.
Yeah.
Which was it was an honor, but it was a very, very difficult day that day.
I have heard.
Yeah.
I didn't get
It was-
to. I never got to referee line, but I also didn't have to deal with the shit you had to deal with.
That was very difficult.
I just want to put that out there. We're not
No,
very.
absolutely not.
Oh,
no,
no.
it's to do with Marty Jones. It's to do with Marty Jones. It was him.
That's
I'm
it.
just going to say his name.
I was
I'm not
gonna
going to be
say
shy. It's him.
Dennis is
I
going to
think enough
shovel
people
it.
have said his name before anyway.
Fuck the algorithm now. Now people who search Marty Jones are going to find this.
There's a clickbait for this episode.
I think it's safe enough because I think he's been mentioned before. Has he been mentioned before on here? He must have.
Aye, I'm fairly sure.
He's certainly been mentioned on Aspen's appearance on Billy Strachan's podcast as well. So, yeah. He made it a very difficult day, but the match itself was really good. I enjoy a World of Sport match. I mean, I've done two. I did Len Aspen and I did Jimbo
Oh,
versus Aspen as well.
yeah, I forgot what Jimbo's one. I always forget about that one.
Forgot that.
Yeah.
I have no memory. When was that?
I think that was at Dainston.
It was at Dainston. It was a Christmas chaos, or it was definitely Dainston.
Yeah. I do enjoy that. Just it was kind of cool, you know. You break out the yellow card and counting pins standing up. Not always the worst thing in the world. You know, World of Sport style.
Yeah.
No knee pads required that night.
No.
I
Although
know.
saying that, we don't need knee pads. I don't know. Do you wear knee pads in the new ring?
And no, I wear like knee sleeve type things.
Yeah, I don't wear. I like the padding in the new rings, kind of on our knees, so I don't have to wear.
Yeah. Well, it is now they've started doing the double padding. Like when they first got the new ring and it was just the I don't know what it was, the foamy stuff, the rolly stuff. That was fun. I'm almost certain that's what fucked my neck. And then they started using the padding for the old ring on top of that stuff, and it's infinitely better.
Much kinder, yeah. I remember we did a Peterhead show, and we had to use the old ring because it had to be in the low setting.
Low setting, yeah.
And I hadn't used my knee pads in a while, so I didn't take them with me. And it didn't occur to me. I went down for the first. I reffed the whole show as well.
I don't think I can make that one.
Going down for the first pin of the show and just be like, oh fuck, 1, 2. So it was like every pin that show after that point was just a sloppy sideways hip.
Yeah. Now, I remember I want to say it was me and Ted worked that show on a singles, and we were doing I was doing like the boss man spot that day where I like jump with the guy in the ropes and then can ping him off. And then I'll take this massive bump. I was like, and I was thinking to myself, it's the low setting on the old ring. It wouldn't be good. Like, and because we'd worked the new ring for I don't know how many months at this point, so we'd been used to that. And you could see him, like, he hit the mat and he was meant to do like a roll, a big massive bump and a roll outside, and he just hit the mat and he stopped. And I was like, it's like, nah, that he didn't expect that.
What an awesome venue though the Palace Hotel was, you know, with like the chandeliers and stuff in the middle of the room.
Really classy, yeah. Love that venue.
No, I think last time we did Peterhead wasn't there, but the changing facilities weren't great. Because you were like up in like a conference room somewhere.
Yeah, aye.
Yeah.
Because one year
you had to take through the whole hotel.
You had to like go all the way around. Because one year we were like behind the stage. And that was awful. That was just horrendous.
I remember just not going back. Like between matches, I would sit with Mark.
Yeah.
I'm not going back there. There's like 20 of us in this little, I want to say 10 by 10 feet.
Yeah.
And all our bags, and everyone's getting changed and going over their matches.
No.
Yeah, it's some of the venues we're on, like they're nice venues, but the backstage isn't great.
Yeah.
Like the northern. Aye, it's like it's a good venue, but backstage is a corridor. Let's be honest, and we're just getting changed in like the little kids' chairs, like half-size seats.
Yeah.
But then you get venues like Harrow House when Archer's got his own private dressing room.
Aye, big league and Andy. He is. Like I said,
went to a ballroom at the Harrow House. That venue was.
It is. See if it was in the middle of nowhere, it would be a tremendous venue to run. Like,
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
We arrange a shuttle bus. We could do a hell of a show there.
yeah, stick an extra couple of quid on the ticket prices, and we'll run a bus.
We'll do a package deal. A family of 5 and 5 seats on the shuttle bus.
But like you said, it's like a tremendous looking venue. Like when it's like the fairy lights and I know fairy lights.
Well, that was perfect that night because they had a wedding the night before.
Yeah,
and all the decorations were still up. And I remember the woman who was in charge of the hall saying to me as we came in, "Oh, I'm really sorry. We have all these flowers up. You know, it doesn't look very wrestling-y and that. But there's all these fairy lights if you just want to ignore them." And I'm like, no, maximum setting. We're having all this shit on now. It looked fantastic. I think we called it, what was it? Wrestlezone Takeover Love, because it had the huge LED.
Yeah, aye.
We tried to rotate the O vertically so it looked like live. It just didn't.
Yeah, that's like if we could run that venue like as a show, it would be good. But it's just like it's stuck in the middle of nowhere, and like nobody's gonna come.
There's quite a few venues out the road that if you could like brick by brick deliver them in Aberdeen, but at the same price, they would be absolutely perfect. Like that Turf venue really is great. You know, it's a great hall. You know, you've got a secondary hall to change in. It's fine. You know, there's quite a few venues. Like Keith's got quite a good venue as well, but just too far out the road.
Yeah.
What was Keith in there? I'm trying to remember.
Longmore Hall.
Yeah, Keith's got a lovely venue. Was that
Yeah.
the time?
The what? Yeah, well, the hall in Keith, yeah, because like even Huntley, you know, Stuart's Hall is quite nice as well.
Yeah, Huntley's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Huntley was when I was always going to recreate my how the house fucking counter finishing at Huntley because I knew it had the fire doors at the side of the ring.
Fire door, yeah.
I was like, I could always recreate it there.
You've got to recreate that out of your show.
It's in the back pocket for recreating somewhere, but yeah, it's just finding the right venue and the right match for it.
I think most of the town halls would be able to do that.
Yeah, most of them have got fire exits that are like on the side, down by the ring. But like as a referee, there's nothing more. I find anyway stressful is like doing a count out and you're up to 9 and you know the guys are gonna like lay dead until like roughly 9, and even in your head you're like they are gonna get up, aren't they? And you're counting and you're like, you know, it's like so stressful because I've had that a few times. Different people have said, you know, it's like you're going to stay outside. We're going to be dead till about 8, and then we'll rumble a little bit. And then at 9, we're going to dive in the ring. And there's always that little bit. It's like, well, if I get to 10, that bell's getting rung.
Yeah.
There's that bit of like stressful like count to get higher and higher. You're like, they are definitely going to move, aren't they? They can't hear me. I'm saying it as loud as physically possible. But you're always just that. I don't know if you're the same, Mikey, but I'm always worried that they're just not going to come in time.
Yeah, there's a few times as well in multi-man matches when I'm counting, and it's like I get to 2, and I'm like, "Where's the other guy to come and break up the pin? Where's the guy? Where is he?" Like my hand's coming down for 3, and I don't think the guy's going to make the break up in time, so I'll just call a kick out. Sometimes the kick out is the spots, and this is just if I either didn't know the whole match or forgotten that spot exactly what was happening. But I just have in my head the one time I don't do it is the time I go 1, 2, and then his shoulders doesn't move because he's expecting someone to break up the pin and they're not there in time, so I have to count 3.
That's happened to me. That's happened to me before, but it happened to me at the ballroom.
Yes. In the first match.
I was first match in the ballroom. I won't say what year because I don't want to name any names, but I had been told a particular finish that had been changed, but I was never informed of the change. So I'm refereeing the match, going back and forth, just kind of standard opener for the ballroom, you know, high energy, try to get crowd in it. And I go down to count, and I'm counting, you know, 1, and I'm counting, 2, and I know this isn't the finish. And I go to count 3, and there's no movement from the guy being pinned, absolutely nothing, completely dead. And I called a kick out that wasn't there. And I was so annoyed at myself that I didn't just follow through on 3. Because that's what we would tell someone if they were away to become a referee, would say, always count 3, no matter what happens.
If
and I didn't do my own advice. And it was the first match in the ballroom, and I was like so frustrated and annoyed at myself afterwards. I was like, just sitting in the stairs, you know, like that we'd have went up to the bit that goes to the leisure centre. Kind of a bit distraught because they did eventually work to the finish, but they changed it and not told me, so I wasn't a mind reader.
But to be fair,
if I called it as a shoot, I would have just counted 3.
If I remember correctly, they came to you after the match and took the heat and said, yes, we forgot to tell you that's on us.
Yeah. It just felt like I've got the rest of the show to go, and it's not what you want to happen in like the opening. You want to be like buzzing, because I remember the first ballroom when you came back, because I think you did the first match at your first ballroom, didn't you, Mikey?
Yeah, the first match.
And you came through the curtain and you were just so like high because of the, you know, the over 1,000 and crowd was up for it, and it was a great match, one of those really high energy kind of like cruiserweight type openers, and you were just like scraping you off the roof. And I just had the opposite effect that year. It was just like, I need to pick myself up because there's a big match coming up and a whole show still to do. But it was really difficult. And I know that a lot of referees have done it. Even in the WWE, you hear of people kind of messing up a finish, or, you know, not counting to 3, but it doesn't make you feel any better at the time.
Aye. It's something I've never had happen on my end. But yeah, it's like to see like guys there's meant to be a spot and the guy doesn't get there on time. It's like, and they're like, you're putting the referee in the fucking hard spot there. It's like, does he count it, or does he try and work around it somehow? Or it's like, I didn't envy that.
No, yes, it's kind of catch-22, because you could count to 3 and it not be the finish.
Yeah.
Or you could count a 2 and it not be a 2, and I don't know what's. We're meant to count to 3 no matter what happens.
Yeah. That's the thing. If the guys in the ring have fucked it somewhere, like they should just, and they can't get pissed about it because the guys in the ring have fucked it.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think in practice that's it can be a hard sell.
Aye.
But I think with you guys, I think you would respect the fact that we count to 3 no matter what.
Aye, I would expect that. Like in any of my matches, like I don't hear anything that elaborate usually. It's like, if it's a 2 count, I'll get a kick out well before 3. If it's a 3 count, it's going to be a 3 count.
Yeah, but that's kind of the danger of being a referee as well, is being put in that position.
Yeah. Like I always, if I've got anything that's like, it's going to be a really near a 3. Like I'll try and let the ref know, like, it's not the finish, but it's going to look like the finish.
Yeah.
But usually my matches aren't as elaborate as that, because I'm not that fucking clever. Right, so here we are. We're back again. Speaking off air, we've actually forgot where we were, so we've run out of notes. So we're just going to get back into this and finish it up. But before we get there, we're going to speak about some of your favourite matches you've refereed, you've been a part of. So let's just get straight into it. Just jump in where you.
Okay. I'll jump in first because one of my favourite matches is quite recent. I don't know if it's going to annoy Vagos though, because it was in Montrose and it involves Caleb. So should I tread carefully? But no, it was Caleb against Damien, the undisputed title match.
Yeah, it's Montrose's own Caleb Valhalla.
Yes.
He's training with FPWA now, though, so his name Montrose like he's FPWA is Montrose's own. So that reverts me to Wrestlezone's Montrose's own now. Surely, it's got to be.
Put that in a t-shirt.
But yeah, that was a really good match. Crowd was there for it.
Yeah.
I broke out my having our full turn for one of the near falls right near the end as well. So I think always got a good reaction. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. I think whenever the crowd is really engaged, you know you can feel it, and it's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it helped
that
that Caleb
certainly
and his
was
whole
one
family there.
Family, friends, relations,
Yes.
long lost relations, they were all there.
Everyone, all the pupils that his missus teaches at the school, and it helped. But no,
Yeah.
that was a really good match. I remember that being a really good match.
Yeah, told a really good story as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gutted. I wasn't there for that show. It was a good one. I watched it back after the fact.
Aye, that was like I grudged the game because he gets this one, throws his own, but Caleb he's got a lot of fucking potential. Like he's really committed to it.
Mm.
Like he's doing all the, like through lockdown he's been doing all the seminars and whatever else, and he's been he's been doing Andy seminars. I don't know if it's kind of the ones that Luke King Sharp's been doing. I don't know about them, but he's been committed to doing as much as he can and learning as much as he can through the lockdown to get himself as prepared as he can. And obviously, like he was in fucking decent shape before, and he's a lot fucking better now. It's like
he's one of the people that's gonna come out of lockdown in better shape.
Aye, yeah. It's like you can't grudge him. It's like aye, you've earned that. There's your respect. Aye.
Mm-hmm.
Even with a newborn.
Aye, that's
yeah.
It's even more impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the videos of him and Nell like in the gym with
the bear and I.
Beside the weights. It's like that's amazing. That's if ever there's super mom and super dad, it's there.
If ever was living the gimmick, it's Caleb.
Yeah. I can't wait till she's big enough to be used as a gimmick. Her and our show. I'm sure there's some sort of Viking thing they could do together.
Yeah.
Father, daughter.
See, that's the thing. Like when throws the shows, I've always got my I say kids, the oldest one. She's always like she's got the honour saying she's kicked both the outfit in the head. Like the first one she did, was it Dino or Ted? Whichever one it was she did first. And like she went back to school the following week. And they do this thing at school is like, tell us your news skin for the weekend, what you did at the weekend. And she's like, I kicked this guy in the head. My teacher sought me out like the afternoon. It's like she said this. I was like, look, I'd explain it like I'm a wrestler, and she did it. It's fine. She didn't actually kick the guy. It's fine.
She was working.
Yeah, she was working lighter than I did. Anyway, according to Dino. But yeah, that's like when we get back, it'll be interesting to see where Caleb, how far he can go. Because he's certainly got the motivation and the fucking passion for it.
Absolutely. What about yourself, Mikey? Do you have a match that springs out?
Yeah, I have one that sticks out. Was Battle of the Nations one year. I want to say it was 2017, but it might have been 18. Actually, I can't remember. But it was the year that it was Damien versus Richard R. Russell.
Oh yeah.
And we told such a good story in that.
That was a hell of a match.
If you go back on my Instagram, there's a photo. Ryan Battensby took the perfect photo. I took a super kick in that match, and there's a photo of Damien's foot is like here, just past me, and my face is doing like the Rocky, you know, like my lips are there. I'm sure if you could enhance the image, you can see the spit coming out. It's like the perfect action shot. But that was such a good match. We told a really intricate story. It's one of the most I've ever been involved with a match, start to finish, because I had to be with them for so much. And we did this whole thing before the ref bump happened. We thought, right, folk are going to see it coming from the way we're setting it up. So we didn't give it to them straight away. It was like, I'm in the corner. I'm in the corner and Damien's in front of me. Okay, so obviously, Russell was in front of me. So obviously Damien's going to charge and I'm going to take the splash. But then there was lots of like putting on the brakes and then duck one. Oh no, here's the ref bump. Here's the ref bump. Bam, there's the super kick. It was so good. The crowd popped so much for it.
Yeah, it's like that story being told so well up to that point. Like the crowd were just ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah, they were desperate to see that match.
It's like
No, that's a great one.
Like
I
that.
remember originally we were just going to do a squash in the corner for the ref bump, which is fine.
Yeah.
But then when they were going over the rest of the match for me, they said to me, okay, now at this point, you're going to get back up. I'm like, that's ages away. Look, if I'm going to be down for ages, let's do something that'll really take me out. A squish in the corner, that's like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
So I was the one that suggested the super kick. And I'm glad I did, because I've got that amazing photo.
Yeah, that is a fantastic still of, just brilliant. Because you've had a big boot as well, haven't you, Ballroom?
I had two big boots, one at the
Yeah.
bottom, also about the nations. One at the bottom came first, and that was fine because he didn't touch me, and it looked devastating. Apparently,
it did. We thought you were dead.
Yeah, you guys. I got backstage after the match, and everyone at the monitor was like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" I was like, why? It's like, we thought you died. Like, no, he didn't touch me. In fact, if anything, I was frustrated when I took the bump, thinking, "Oh, that must have looked like shit."
But that's like speaking about ref skills or whatever. That's another one that's like taking the ref bump, because you can't make it look like a normal bump like we would take. It's got to be.
It's got to look sloppy, but you still got to have some control over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite. Yeah, it can be quite difficult, especially more for Mikey, because he's obviously trained as a wrestler to take a ref style bump rather than a wrestler style bump when it comes to it.
It's got to look kind of like you were saying, sloppy, but like awkward or.
Yeah.
Well, there was one time in West Hill, I did a match with Grado where I hit a people's elbow on someone, and after the match, somebody said, I don't remember who it was now, but somebody said to me, "Oh, your elbow drop and the people's elbow, it looked really crap." And before I could say anything, Scotty Swift was there and said, "Yeah, it's supposed to. If the referee can hit a perfect elbow, then that means anyone can. The whole point is only the wrestlers can do the moves well."
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know how to drop an elbow. I'm not gonna ask them how to do it. I'm gonna do my best, but I'm gonna do what I think it's meant to be. So it kind of looked awkward, but it was still me trying.
Aye, that was the thing. Like you look back in the day, you should like latest the people's elbow, like Hebner did it. Was it Hebner or was it the?
It was Mike, you know.
Aye.
It was Mike, you know.
Aye.
They did it, yeah.
Yeah, and you've seen it. It didn't look quite right, but it shouldn't have looked quite right because it's a referee. It's there.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to make it look better than the wrestler doing it, because then that kind of invalidates it being the wrestler's move.
Like when I say Hebner, like Hebner doing the stunner or whatever, it's like it didn't look quite right, but it shouldn't have, because he's a ref.
I'm sure our stunners didn't look quite right. Maybe probably Mikey's was better than mine, but
mine was perfect.
Yeah, and mine was awful, but it achieved the same thing.
Yeah, but that's the way they should look as a referee doing them.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But like I'm saying, it's an acquired skill to make it look nay as the wrestlers would do it, but it still be safe in doing so.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
safety paramount at all times.
Yeah. That's like the match we had at, was it Summerhill or was it Nations? It was us, me and Archer against Dave P and Garrick, and I hit you with the chain, Denzel.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I had to take, because like at this point I wasn't that far into it at this point, so like I was 50-50 whether I was getting just potato guys or just missed completely, and the chain wrapped around my fist. I was like, please don't make this a potato. I didn't want to just legit knock Dennis out.
There's a great photo. I think was it Dodd that took it, and I'm just away to get hit by the chain, and it actually like genuinely upset my daughter for a little while. She was like, "Is that what happens when you go away at the weekend?" You know what I mean? It's like she's like very concerned about my well-being.
Yeah.
She's 12 now, so she probably would enjoy seeing me getting hit by a chain. But at the time, she was concerned about my health and well-being going to the wrestling at the weekend. So yeah, it's a great photo of that. Dodd, I think it was Dodd that took it. So yeah.
I think it was. But yeah, that was when we and Archer weren't exactly playing by the rules.
Yeah,
we were causing you guys a lot of hassle.
Mm. Yeah, no, we enjoy that. I like the interaction. I like to be challenged, and I really enjoyed working with like Richard R. Russell outside.
Yeah,
because you would get a lot of interaction, and he would be constantly on you, and you could turn around and you can go back and forth, and yeah, it was a lot of fun working. Any time that Russell was out with his guys, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Russell was always clever and interacting with the ref in a way like it was obvious, but it was not obvious. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you could tell that he's from the school of like watching a lot of Bobby Heenan / Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
And he's sort of managerial style.
Yeah.
And that's not the worst people to learn from, to be fair. It's like 1, 2, depends on what day it is, which one's 1, which one's 2.
Those are your tippy top guys to watch if you're the outside guy.
Yeah. So anytime we can have interaction, like I love a tag match for interaction because you can get drawn in, you can get taken away, you can be turned. You know, I love that. So I think there's some referees that find that quite difficult, but I quite like the challenge of being in a very kind of intricate, kind of fast-paced tag match. That's where I feel like I'm at my best.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get into tag matches like that because I remember for a good while after I started, it was usually a case of, okay, the big tag matches, you go to Denzel.
Yeah. Because I think there was one tag match that I remember in particular. Was it Inverurie? Was it Hot Shots against Sterling Oil? That was just an absolute stormer of a match. It was a title change. I think it was them. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
For me or for you?
I think it was for me. Because I think that would be high up in my kind of, because the crowd was just going absolutely ape at everything.
That's the thing. Like if you can get the subtleties and that kind of intricacies in a tag match, it can be the best match in the card. Because I've always been a big tag guy.
Yeah.
Why I've ended up in a tag team, but yeah, it's like if you can get that, it can be the best match in the card because you've got 4 guys playing off, 5 guys if you go the ref playing off each other, and if you can get all the gears to work at the same time, and
you've got to watch though. There's a very thin line between using the referee and burying the referee.
Yeah,
you shouldn't try not to cross over. Case in point, anytime AEW does a tag match with Rick Knox in it, that's just like anything goes. But that's more from I'm watching the referees when I watch professional wrestling now, and I'm not focusing on what the referee's doing a lot of the times. But the worst thing is to be made to look like an absolute idiot because you want your referee to look strong.
Yeah, like when I first got into tag wrestling, it was like, we'll do this big brawl and just the referee will just go. And I've tried to be a bit more smart in recent years. It's like, we can't do that because it's at the end of the day, it's just burying the ref. We can't do it. We need to be a bit more smart about that. And yeah, it's like I said at the start. The refereeing is something I don't think I could ever do. There's too much intricacies and subtleties, and it's no for me.
Yeah.
And fair play to you for doing it and sticking with it and being as good as you are at it.
We do our best.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this, we're doing less than a minute to go, so I think that's a good time to wrap it up before we get cut off. Like I said, I think we've got a lot more we can come back to, so we can get back to this at some point in the future. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for this week for my guest. It's the Ref Express. It's Dennis Law and Mikey Innes. And we'll be back again with more of this nonsense at some point in the future. But thanks, guys. Thanks for that.
No problem. Thank you, Vigo.
All right, cheers for having us.